Looks like
Hello and welcome. I'm your host, Jennifer Louise, and good evening to wherever you are in the world. It's currently 7 p.m. BST, and we have an amazing guest for you this evening. So we've been talking a lot about marketing and how to get your brand and your message out there, and we're going to switch it up a little bit this evening because I feel that there's a lot of scare and a lot of fear out in the marketplace at the moment, with half of England closing the salons down, and then the news again this week that the beauty salons up in Nottingham have now, they've all got to close. Is it going to come further down to us? We don't know. But I've handpicked somebody that I feel is going to really help you guys with the pain and the frustration and the fear that you are going through. So please welcome this amazing lady, Christine Zelensky. Good evening or good afternoon to you. It's currently 3 p.m. Where are you in the world, Christine?
So I am in New Jersey. I'm about an hour south of Manhattan, and it is 3 p.m. here, so it's in the afternoon. And It is a pleasure to be here with you. I'm so excited.
Oh, thank you so much. So we're currently streaming on 2 different Facebook groups, the Facebook page, we're over in YouTube, and we are live over on Instagram as well. So good evening to everybody in all the channels, all over the world, wherever you are. It's an absolute pleasure to be with you guys. And for anywhere that you could have been right now, this minute, you have chosen to spend this time with us. So I am going to absolutely rock your boat with what we've got this evening. So, Christine, before we start, tell us a little bit about yourself and who you are and where you come from.
So I am a salon owner. I've been a salon owner for the past 20 years. Actually, I have my 20-year anniversary this year. And I've been in the salon industry for over 30 years. I started my career out for Vidal Sassoon in New York, and then transferred to the Santa Monica Academy and was an instructor for the Academy. And then I started my own salon in 2000. And then I joined the Davines artistic team and was a trainer for hairdressers all over the world for Davines for 16 years. And so in 2014, I was at a point in my life where I felt like I was traveling all over the world. I felt a lot of the sameness. And I was at a point where I really wanted to grow. Yeah. And I wasn't quite sure how. But I knew that I wanted to contribute more to people than I was contributing. And so my passion has always been to give back to the people in our industry. And so I've taught haircutting for 25 years, and developed my team, the team at Davines. And I felt like I wanted to do something that I was able to really not only make an impact on people's careers, but how can I contribute to one's life and help them reach their fullest potential? How can I help them discover where their roadblocks are? So in 2014, I joined the John Maxwell team, and I have now been really part of a group called Empowered Living, which teaches a lot of mindset and personal development for the last 5 years. So
that's so amazing. We just had a comment coming from Hazel. Good evening, Hazel. It's saying, you don't look old enough to have done all this. You look amazing.
Well, thank you.
So I'm really interested in the personal development side of your career, because it's something that I hold really dear to my heart. I've done a lot of training in that side, that industry as well, and I absolutely love it, because at the end of the day, as salon owners, we are empowering and almost bringing up team members, and there comes a massive weight on our shoulders, I feel, as business owners, as salon owners, that we do the absolute best for the team around us and help them to grow and evolve. And just having that that knowledge behind us really does help with doing that. So where did this journey begin for you?
The journey of personal development?
Yeah.
The journey of personal development began, I was a coach for Strategies. I don't know if you know Strategies, but Strategies is in the US. It teaches salons really the concept of team-based. And so I used that system for a long time. I became a coach for Strategies, and I learned how to coach my team as well as teach them how to be the best hairdresser. And what would happen is my team would get to a certain point and they would feel like I have to go because I have to grow. Yeah. And I would always be looking for growth outside. And I became very curious as to how can I help them discover what is already inside of them, because they can be greater where they're at, but they go on this sort of search and journey. And then many of my team came back to me and said, I don't know what I was thinking. I went over here because I thought it was going to be better. And so that's when it all began. It was, how can I give more? And I needed to become more in order to give more.
Absolutely. I find that team members, when they want that growth, that if they don't have the ability to grow within the salon and they can't see a compelling future for them, then they search outside of the business, and we lose. I mean, we've seen coming out the other end of this pandemic, team members, stylists for different salons all over the country going off to work in Tesco's and hubs. And gosh, I've heard all sorts of different stories of amazing stylists that are so brilliant at their job, just go off and do something completely random because they feel that there's something missing inside of them. So I think enabling them to really get to know themselves and really become one-to-one and at peace with the body and the person that they are is so important. I believe that you can manage what you measure, and I think that when we enable these guys not only to find out this internal dialogue that's going on inside of them, but to be able to find the skills to be able to measure it and really spend time with it is super important. So what are some of the skills that you help your team, and because you coach salon owners, right, as well?
Yeah, I don't do a lot of personal coaching one-on-one. I do a lot of group coaching.
Right.
So, but I teach them really how to use their mind and understand how the mind operates, because I think it's really important to understand that, believe it or not, we are programmed. And we continue to program ourselves. And we've been programmed since, from 0 to 7 years old. We are just downloaded, how to do everything. And whether or not we like it, how we grew up and how we were raised is how we developed our habits today. So if, our beliefs equal our results. So what you believe in yourself and what you tell yourself is what's going to be in physical form. So, there came a time for me where I had, a successful business. I really wasn't, I wasn't unhappy. But what I did realize was that there was a piece of me that felt unfulfilled.
Yeah. And
the piece of me that felt unfulfilled was that my purpose is to give and help to develop people. And when I stopped doing that, because I stopped doing it for a long period of time because I wanted to get more from in. But when I stopped that is when all of the feeling of lack of purpose came.
Yeah.
And so what I see when stylists come to work for me, is their number one goal is, I want to work for you because of the education. And then they get the education and they forget to give the education. And I feel as human beings, there's this sort of spiritual circle that must happen.
Yeah.
And what we take in, we need to put out and to develop others. And I think what happens is people, maybe because of the lack of confidence, maybe because they were never taught how to teach and they feel like I'm not good enough to do that. But when I see an individual who grows and then helps another individual grow, there is a whole different experience that happens with that person.
Yeah.
So my goal is to always help somebody grow and then focus on how can you now give that away. And that, Vidal Sassoon taught me that when I worked for him for 10 years. It was all about that giving transaction.
I totally agree, and that's the entire sole reason that this training room, this broadcasting session ever happened, because the whole idea behind this Facebook group was to find people in our industry that were crushing it in certain areas and actually outside the industry as well. Whatever we needed to learn, I seek to find people doing it amazingly and get them to share their knowledge or how they're crushing it, so that the rest of the group and anyone in our industry can pick that knowledge up and really start to run with it and learn and grow themselves. And so if you are watching this, whether it be live right now or later on down the line, whatever you learn from these sessions, just like Christine said, pay it forward, pass it on, show your team members. If you're a salon owner, show your team members these videos. If they've got downtime, get them learning. It's all about sharing and passing it on. And I believe that if you're paying for education, if you're sending your team out for education, whether it be a balayage course, that team member needs to come back and then teach it and pay it forward and pass it on. And the best sole reason for that, I believe, is because when you teach, you learn the best. It absorbs into you in such a different way than when you're sat there actually listening.
Yeah.
Would you agree?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. It's when I learned the most. I remember when I first started teaching, and I worked at the Vidal Sassoon Academy in Santa Monica. And it was when I was a stylist in New York, and I transferred to Santa Monica and I started teaching. And I was exhausted because I didn't realize how much of you it takes. But it was so rewarding. I could feel the difference of just the transaction versus this experience of watching someone else evolve based on my contribution.
Yeah.
So I think what I would like to share is one of the things that has really changed my life the most would be my morning routine. Because I have 2 children. I've been a single mom for the past 14 years.
I'm with you.
And, a lot of times people say, how do you do it? What do you do? How do you make it look that easy? Because I know it's not easy. And I say, well, one of the things that I have changed in my life is I get a head start. I'm up at between 4 and 5 a.m. and I spend 30 minutes at least reading something positive. So at all times, I have, here I'm in the process of, I'm doing a course on Think and Grow Rich. So
I love that. It's one of my favorites.
Yes, I love that book. So, it's what are you taking in? And then I do authentic journaling and a meditation. So, and then move, walk, exercise. So I think it's really important to be intentional about how you start your day, because how you start your day is going to be the result that you get from your day.
Absolutely. I totally agree. I've just made a little tweak to my morning routine. I've got a very close, locked down morning routine as well. And I do believe that you are so right. It does give you that head start, but it also grounds you and sets you up for the day. Now, for anybody that knows me, knows that, and I've just banged on about it for nearly a week now. I did Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday last week. I did a Tony Robbins course. And so I learned some new things to throw into my morning routine, which has just been so powerful. Some of the things I don't really like, but I make myself do them anyway. Like first thing in the morning on an empty stomach, a celery juice. I can't even
celery juice. I love celery juice.
The juice isn't so bad though, right? Because it's mixed with water. It's not so.
That's the medical medium wrote the book. There's a whole book on celery juice.
I know, it's crazy. It's crazy, but it's really working. It's setting me up. The minute I've damned that, glass of lemon water, straight out down the seafront with the dog for 30 minutes, brisk walk. And then I put lots of different breathing exercises and meditation into my morning, which I didn't have before. So I'm getting up quite a bit earlier now to put in all the extra bits. But when I get to work, I feel alive. Whereas I was still finding it quite difficult. Although I have my morning routine, I find it difficult when the light goes down and we hit winter like we just have to get out of bed. I'm not finding it difficult this winter. Touch wood. I also use a lot of things like this. I absolutely love salt lamps.
Right.
And having those candles around me when I meditate is to really ground myself, and that gratitude and being present as well, I believe, is a really powerful thing. I think salon owners, and raise your hand on the other side of this screen if you feel like this. I tell you, I think we're spinning so many plates all at once that we're never present. Like we're like constantly thinking about the kids. It's like, have I got to pick them up? Am I running late? What do I need to pack for their lunch? What do I need to bring home for dinner? Have I washed the gowns? What do I need for the team? It's constant. And so to be present for that morning routine is so powerful, and then to do it again in the evening slightly differently, just to bring me down into bed, has just changed my life. It really has.
Yeah, absolutely. And to realize that, I think the other big change is, we're caught up in understanding we're physical beings, and just to remember that we're really spiritual beings, and what we think matters.
Yeah.
What we're telling ourselves and what we think is the result of what we're getting. And so I think it's so important, and sometimes we don't realize what we're actually telling ourselves.
Yeah.
So how do you feel? Like I didn't even pay attention to actually how I felt. Was I really happy doing the things that I was doing? I was just on automatic pilot because I did it for so many years that I thought that was what I actually wanted to continue doing.
Yeah.
And I would encourage people is, are your dreams your dreams? Or are your dreams somebody else's dreams? Or are your dreams old dreams? So the authentic journaling really does help to sort of, when you come out of meditation, to just get a notebook and just start writing. And sort of the stream of consciousness writing. I did a course with one of my mentors, Michael Gelb, and one of the exercises that we did, which is extremely effective, is to write yourself 100 questions in 20 minutes.
Wow.
So for 20 minutes, you're going to ask yourself 100 questions. And you will be so surprised at what you discover at the end of that session.
Wow.
Because, Tony Robbins says, the better the question, the better the result.
Yeah.
So, Tony's a big advocate for asking yourself better questions, and you'll get better results. So when Michael taught me that, he wrote the book, How to Think Like Leonardo da Vinci. And so his teachings are all about how to tap into your genius. So it's how do you tap into that unconscious mind? Because just like what you said, is we're constantly on this sort of wheel spinning all the time. And we're not really getting to some of the things that we like, we love, we're passionate about, what's our desires. And you really have to discover that. And sometimes we're not even asking ourselves some of the most important questions.
No. I'm going to do that this evening. Before I go to bed, I'm going to spend 20 minutes. And actually, I came across a 20-minute meditation this morning that I put it on, but I just didn't have the time to sit and do it. So I'm going to put that track on, and I am just going to go into the subliminal subconscious and just start writing. I have to share with you, I stopped for a moment this morning. So on my morning walk, I grab the dog and I'm off out, and I'm like literally power walking, getting the wind in my face, and just looking at everything around me and feeling gratitude, like saying I love. So I love the wind in my face. I love the beautiful sea. I love the trees around us. And as I was power walking on, I noticed a friend of mine sat in the bus stop who has just in the last 3-4 months experienced some horrific emotional turmoil. And she was crying, and I just thought, I'm not going to do the rest of this walk. I'm just going to sit with her, and she doesn't want to talk, that's fine. We're just going to both sit there. But I'm going to be there for her. And I stopped, and I just was like, need a friend? And she was like, oh my God. And she sobbed, and I sobbed, and we hugged. But for once in my life, I was truly present, and it was the most beautiful experience. When we hugged, my heart touched her heart, and I could feel her heartbeat on my chest, and that made me cry, because I've never, ever been so present that I have felt somebody else's heartbeat on mine. It was absolutely,
I'm gonna cry.
I know, it was just the most beautiful thing in my entire life, just being at one with somebody and giving them my full, I'm going to go in a minute, giving them my full attention, not thinking about work, not thinking about the kids or the dog or the businesses, just being there for that one person. And yes, for me, it's something I need to do more of, and I'm going to, I have made a pledge to myself this morning that I am going to start being more present with people, putting the phone away, not thinking about anything, and just looking at people. Like, I noticed freckles on her face that I'd never noticed before. The colour of her eyes that I'd never noticed before. If you'd asked me, I'd have just said brown, but actually there's like a little green tinge there. It was so phenomenal. But I guess we all just find it hard, right? When we're running a business and we have children, we're single mums. It's just all coming at us from all directions.
Yeah, and I think my kids remind me pretty often, especially about the phone, because they'll catch me in the middle of the stairwell answering an email, Mom. Yeah. So I think that my kids are my greatest teachers.
Oh, I love that. But I'm guessing they're on it a lot though, right?
Oh yeah, they are. But I think, just like what you said, is having all these things happening, and we're, I'm bad about living in the future because of business. I'm always planning. And so, but really our future is what we're doing at this current moment.
Yeah. Yeah. Because that's all we've got promised.
Yeah. So it is a constant reminder.
It is. One of the things that I really, really learned over the weekend with Tony Robbins is about an emotional home, and that we all have an emotional home, a set of emotions that we literally go home to, that are our go-tos. And for some people, that might be happiness. For others, it might be humor. They just break out into laughter and make everybody laugh. For some people, though, it's sadness, anxiety, fear, worry. And we all know where focus goes, energy flows. So the more we focus on that, the worse we make it. For instance, if I was to say to you guys right now, where were you on the 9/11 tragedy, you would all be able to tell me exactly where you were the moment you found out about that. And the reason why is because it evoked such emotion inside of us. And so I think understanding your natural habitat, your own emotional home. I mean, some of us would have gone into, oh my God, is it going to happen here? Are they going to come to England? Is my house going to get blown up? Or that you might have been in London. Oh my God, am I going to die because I'm in London? Some of us would have laughed and gone, don't be stupid. That didn't happen. Some of us would have started to worry, or we would have, some people may have cracked jokes about it because that was the only way that they could cope with it at the time. And understanding what your go-to emotional habitat is, I think, is so important. And to understand what your teams are as well. Because when people are under stress and they go to that natural habitat, sometimes it can come across wrongly for people. And so I personally believe that taking the time to understand the go-to knee jerks of your team is really, really powerful. So what's your take on the emotional home and how we can really focus on it and then start to make ourselves aware and maybe have a coping mechanism to bring ourselves out of that if it's not one that serves us?
Well, as far as my team goes, I think what I've learned to be is to have a lot of empathy and not directly want to change someone or to force change. So, I've learned to have a lot of empathy for where people are, yeah, and to slowly help them to have different thought patterns and to learn how to, reprogram themselves. And I think the most important thing is to realize that everyone is experiencing something different.
Yeah.
Sometimes, years ago, I used to think, why aren't they doing it like me? So, why are they not motivated? Why are they not, happy? Why are they not a multitasker? Why are they? And I think it's really establishing like gratitude and, congratulating people where it's okay where you are.
Yeah.
But it's not okay to stay where you are. So let's say, okay, we want you to get to this next level. You want to go to this next level, but you don't have to do it at my speed. You do what's right for you and at your speed, because we're all different and we all have had different experiences, which is making us who we are today. And I think, one of Tina Black, actually, one of the things that I learned from her is what she says is, I put a 10 on everyone's head, everyone, until they prove me wrong.
Yeah.
But that's how she shows up for everyone. So you have a 10. And I really started to think about that because, there was at one point where I didn't have that strong empathy for my team. It was, you have to work hard, you have to show up, and, yes, I'm still like that. You have to work hard, but let's go at your pace. Where are you? What have you experienced? Your experiences are different than mine. Maybe I find this really easy to do. I'm very good at change. I'm very adaptable. Some people are not that adaptable. Some people, change takes a longer period of time. So how can we support our team through their own personality? So we do the DISC personality profile. And so, I have had every single one of my staff members go through that DISC profile. So this way I know exactly how I'm communicating with them and who are they? What are their needs? How do they communicate? And I think that's really important.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Sophie B's on the call, so I just want to give a good shout out to her. Hello, Sophie, you sassy monkey. And Hazel is saying, do you recommend any books? I'm not a morning person, me neither, but you can make yourself, Hazel. I wouldn't know where to start with a morning routine and the best things to do. So Hazel, first thing is Tracy is in the Successful Salon Club with me, and I've done some training on morning routines, I think it was last session. So ask her if she can talk you through what my morning routine is and how to set one up for yourself. And maybe she can share with you what her morning routine is. Books, wow, there's thousands. Think and Grow Rich.
This is one that I would definitely say, yeah. And the other one that I would recommend, which is great, the Motivation Manifesto by Brendan Burchard. Yeah. I'm halfway through that book, and I've done a lot of courses with him, and he has been wonderful, like really eye-opening. If you want to go just deep and just really deep in thought and something that will provoke you to want to change, I would highly recommend that book.
Yeah, any personal developments are great. Who Moved My Cheese is a fantastic book for teens. Yeah. So if I'm going to make a big change in the salon, the first thing I do is get the team to read Who Moved My Cheese. Yeah. So I get their mindset in the right place, ready to unleash the new change that is about to come on. One of the other ones that is my absolute favourite is The Values Factor by Dr. John Demartini. He is an absolute genius. The man is a genius. And I've read that book over and over and over about 5 or 6 times. Like, it's tattered. I've read it so much. And when I presented it to him to sign it, I actually got the opportunity to meet him. And I was like, Dr. John Demartini, like, I'm shaking. Like, most women have their heroes as like Brad Pitt or like
right there with you.
Old men that have written a book. They're my heroes. But I was shaking because he's such an amazing person, and I look up to him so much. And he said to me, "This book's a bit worn, isn't it?" I was like, "Wow, it's gotten me through a divorce, a brief mistake somewhere else along the line, 2 kids." He was like, wow, okay. And he put his little signature in it. And then I sat down and cried because I was like, oh my God, that was amazing. But yeah, any of those. And then things like The Secret, I think, is a real staple for most people, The Secret and the Power.
The Big Leap. I love The Big Leap. I don't know if you read that by Gay.
No.
That's a great book. That really talks about, is Hazel a salon owner?
Hazel's a salon manager.
Okay, it really talks about finding your zone, making sure that you're staying in your gifted areas, so that you're not wasting all of this energy trying to spread yourself too thin, doing too many things.
Yeah.
So that's a really powerful book.
Yeah.
So there's so many. Do you have one area that you're thinking that you really want to grow? Because when it comes to personal development, one of the things that I've done with my team is do mastermind groups. So get a book, and you could do something that's sort of fun, maybe even have we did Girl, You're a Badass, something like that, where they pick the book and then you can have them read it with you and meet with them once a week, and then have everyone contribute.
Love that.
Which is really amazing.
I love that. Fiona, the book is called The Values Factor by Dr. John Demartini. And Hazel, I think one of the other books that would probably be really good for you is Eat That Frog. It's,
Yes, yes.
it's really, really, really good book. And I have, you probably can't see it, but it's that good that the last time I was out in Africa, I bought a little African frog. Can you guys see it there? It's so cool. And that's to remind me, it sits there on my windowsill to remind me every day. And I'm not gonna tell you what the frog is. You're gonna have to go read the book now. But it's to remind me every day, eat that frog, get shit done. So on that note, I think we need to go get some shit done because it's like 3 p.m. We're halfway through your day. And it's 7:30 here now. So girls and boys, thank you so much for spending yet another evening with us. I absolutely love to see all your faces and all the comments coming in from you all taking part, because I know that you're here because you want to change something in your life, which is just a phenomenal thing to be a part of for us coaches. So congratulations for showing up again. Well done, and thank you for sharing your time with us. So Christine, thank you so much for sharing your time with us as well. I really, really appreciate you and everything you've done for us this evening. Your mind and you're so experienced in mindset. I'd love to pick your brains again sometime and have you back on. Maybe if you want to do some coaching or something on here, then we would absolutely love to see you and your beautiful face in this group again.
Well, thank you so much for having me, and it was great meeting you all. So excited to be here, and I wish you the best.
Thank you so much.
And enjoy Tony's classes.
Oh, I haven't told you all. I have booked to do Business Mastery and Life Mastery and Date with Destiny with Tony Robbins. And to say I'm slightly excited, I'm like, I keep catching it and remembering, and then I'm like, oh my God, I've done it. This is, UPW was a bucket list tick for me. Now I've just gone that extra bit, and now it's like, okay, this is beyond bucket list. This is like life after death. Anyway, I will do. Thank you so much. Girls and boys, I will catch you all back in this room for some more training Monday evening, 7 p.m. I'm going to be spending Monday day with the 365 group and coaching reservations. So if you're in that group, I will see you at 10 a.m. To coach reservations with you. It's my favorite course, so I'm super, super excited. And for those of you in the Successful Salon Club, I hope you've all done your homework, because I'm going to be checking up on you this week as well. So guys, lots of love. Take care. Have a wonderful rest of your evening, and I will catch you all in the group very, very soon. Mwah. Goodbye. Bye.